Hey guys, it's me, Alexander, and guess what we're reading today? Yeah, we're reading Treeko's Journey, chapter 1, 2, and 3. This is going to be a long read for me, so I might take breaks and you might hear a bit of cutting, but yeah, this is a story that's currently in progress. I am doing a lot of work writing, and that might be my new strong suit, I don't know. I just have been getting a lot of positive feedback about it. Anyways, this is an unfinished story, so things are subject to change, but I really hope you guys like this, and yeah, hope you guys like it. Chapter 1: The Dark Future. Once upon a time, there was a small group of Pokemon, which also happened to be the last group of good, kind-hearted Pokemon on the planet. A long time ago, a terrible event had taken place, wiping out all but a few Pokemon. The world was scarred and desolate. In many places, everything was frozen in a gray tint, as though time itself had given up. In reality, time did seem it would never again run as it once did. Why is it now a wasteland? What could have done this? What hope is left for this world? These questions have been answered already, in another story, the one that starts in the past. This one, however, starts in the future, far in the future, generations later. This is the origin of a hero who went through traveled far away from things he knew, and was treated like a villain. He helped save the world. He did this all in the sake of saving others. But I'm getting ahead of myself. This wasteland wasn't always terrible. Once there was a beach that, at dusk, the crappie would blow bubbles, creating a wonderful feeling as the sun went down. There was a town where one could enjoy the company of others, with a bright outlook on each day. There was a cafe where Pokemon would eat, drink, and converse with one another. But most of all, there was the Guild, Wigglytuff's Guild. Wigglytuff's Guild was the place to be if you could get past the century that is. Pokemon came from far and wide in order to ask the Guild for help. The Guild had many rescue teams, all inspired by those who came long before them. The Guild had 3 floors: the entrance, the jobs level, and the cruise level. The Guild was built into a cliff, so Pokemon had a great view from each level. But that didn't matter anymore. The area was now deserted and frozen. The only remaining Pokemon from that area was a small group. Only a small fraction of the original Guild members were still alive. They were considered the elders of the group. The group was composed of mostly middle-aged Pokemon. The elders were few, and there was only one youth, a small green Pokemon named Treeko. Chapter 2: Bidoof's Story. He's right, you know. It was Krogunk. He was sitting on a stool in the corner of the room, listening to the Bidoof tell Treeko his story of how he got a wish from Jirachi, the wish Pokemon. He was listening to how the old Bidoof told how the world used to be. Krogunk was a deep purple frog-like Pokemon. He was very mysterious and would sometimes talk of his old swap shop and his cauldron he used to swap through. No one really knew how that worked. Bidoof, on the other hand, was a brown hamster-like Pokemon. He was kind of small, but he was a pretty good Pokemon. He was very kind-hearted. "Of course I'm right," said the Bidoof. "I've got my journal." He lifted up his book with a paw. "Where was I?" he said to the little Treeko, who had been listening eagerly. "Oh yes, the time I met Jirachi, the wish Pokemon." "Not this one again," Krogunk said as he rolled his eyes. "Oh my gosh, are you telling stories again?" They all turned towards the door. Flora walked in. "Golly," Bidoof said, suddenly worried. "I didn't know you'd be back so early." "I just knew you'd be telling stories again. You know he will be hopeful." "Isn't hope a good thing?" "Not anymore." "Oh." They both sighed. "Well, Sunflora continued, now to Treeko. Dinner's ready. Run ahead, Treeko. We'll be a moment. Treeko ran off to get dinner, hoping he could still hear Bidoof's story later. He was so lost in thought, he ran into someone. Ugh, the other Pokemon said. Treeko looked up to see who he'd run into. Hello there, little one. It was Wigglytuff and Chatot, the group's most elderly Pokemon. That was very rude. You should watch where you're going, Chatot said very sternly. Oh, Chatot, strict as ever, Wigglytuff said knowingly. Here, have an apple. Chatot stood amazed at the view of Wigglytuff giving his favorite food, the perfect apple, to the small child. Treeko thanked Wigglytuff, apologized for bumping into them, and then took off to eat dinner. Wigglytuff, Chatot said, still somewhat shocked. Wasn't that your last perfect apple? I guess it was. Oh well, friendly friends, Wigglytuff replied, happily. Chatot sighed. I will never quite understand you, Guildmaster. Also Chapter 2. Suspicions. Day 1. Treeko's Journal. I had a good day today, Treeko wrote. Bidoof told me some stories of when he was an explorer. He was on an exploration this one time in Star Cave. He said it was difficult, but he kept trying. I know he shouldn't tell me his stories, but I think he wanted me to remember them. I know this because every time Sunflora gets mad at him, he finds a way to get her distracted, so they never really argue about the stories. I guess he's just trying to teach me what he learned in his journal. That's why I'm starting this journal. I'm going to write down everything so I can remember. Day 14. Today, Bidoof seemed really nervous. I think maybe Sunflora and him talked about his stories. He didn't tell me one today. I'm not sure, though. Sunflora said she hasn't had a big chat or anything, so we don't know. Maybe he's just getting out of it. I hope not. And also, I heard from Chatot that the apple that Wigglytuff gave me was very tasty and that it heals a lot of HP. He also said I should save it for something really important. I definitely will. Day 15. I don't have much to write, except I think Bidoof is up to something. The reason I say this is because I saw him studying his old maps and stuff. He never studies anything, except when he has to. I told Wigglytuff my suspicions, because he would listen, but he said it was okay and that we're all friendly friends or something like that. I don't know why I'm so suspicious. He's old. He can't go anywhere. It's probably fine. Day 16. Everything is not fine. I was right. Something was up. Bidoof is gone. Where's Bidoof? Loudred yelled as he burst into the room. Loudred was like a speaker. A loud speaker. When he was outraged, you needed desperately to leave the room. I don't know, said Sunflora. I just got here. Bidoof? Treeko asked as he peeked into the room. He's gone? End of Chapter 2. Chapter 3. Bidoof's Quest. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Sunflora cried as she paced back and forth across the room, extremely worried. Hey! Loudred yelled at Sunflora. Calm down! Bidoof should be fine! He's careful! Careful? You call Bidoof careful? Sunflora shouted, now hyperventilating. He's on a mission. They turned around. Wigglytuff was standing there in the doorway. He looked as though he felt young again, like he could take on anything. Wigglytuff, we don't do anything, we don't do any missions anymore. We're old. He's the youngest out of all of us, besides little Treeko here. Wigglytuff patted Treeko on the shoulder. Well, where'd he go? Asked Loudred. Star Cave. Where's that? Treeko said, very curious. They all looked at each other. Well, you remember that story that Bidoof told you? The one about Jiranji? Yep. He finished telling you, right? No, he kept forgetting because Sunflora kept getting after him for it. Whoops, Sunflora said quietly. Well, I had a feeling, Wigglytuff said as he she pulled out a blue journal. Bidoof's journal? Treeko exclaimed. He was reluctant at first, but when he heard about the cause, he handed it over. What cause? Asked Treeko. Hope, Wigglytuff said with such respect everyone in the room had a quiet moment of pure joy. Won't there be a problem? Loudred said as he realized something extremely important. What? What if Dronchi isn't there? Everything went still for a moment. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Sunflower panicked. There are Sableye out there! Loudred exclaimed. Crap! Croagunk said, deeply concerned. What is all the ruckus about? Chatot shouted as he came in through the door. Bidoof! Everyone yelled back. Yeah! Chatot said as he collapsed, and just fainting. Dear, dear Chatot, Wigglytuff said, looking down on Chatot. Stressed out as ever. Anyways, Wigglytuff continued. How are we going to contact him? He left last night. We could go on a rescue mission, Loudred said. Yeah, but who will go? Asked Croagunk. I'll go, said Sunflora, stepping forward. I know Bidoof the most, and I'll know how he'll act and where he will go. He will probably use his old maps. Let's have some younger Pokemon go, said Wigglytuff. We'll have the older lead then. Then, can I go? Asked Treeko. He was very fond of Bidoof and couldn't imagine losing him. Let's have some of the other older Pokemon go first. Then you could come along, Wigglytuff said, concerned about the kid's safety. You can look over Bidoof's journal, see if there's anything that can help us. Wigglytuff then handed the journal to Treeko. Thanks! I'll go right to my room and study it right now, Treeko said as he took off, clutching the book tightly. Ah, memories, Wigglytuff said, remembering as she helped Chatot up. Wait! Don't read it all! Sunflower said as she ran after Treeko. In Chapter 3. Chapter 4. Strange Echoes. Day 17. Bidoof's journal is pretty neat. He wasn't as professional as I thought he was. Apparently, he was the rookie up until the darkness happened, whatever that means. Before she left, Sunflora said I shouldn't read too much at once because I think it's because she's scared I will get excited or something. I really want to read the whole thing though. Wigglytuff says I would make a good guild member. She seemed really excited, so I said sure. She then gave me a cool kit, which has a few unique items in it. There was an old leather messenger bag that Chatot called a treasure bag, and a wonder map, which I think is just a normal map. It looks pretty old though. And an antique pin that Chatot says could transport an entire rescue team out of a mystery dungeon. I don't know what a mystery dungeon is, but it probably doesn't work anymore. I mean, it is old. Day 19. It's been a couple days since the team left. Some of the other Pokemon have been nervous, mostly because no one's left the village for a long time. This is the first expedition I've been alive during. I kinda wish I could go. They are thinking about singing out another team. I so wish I could go, but I've never been on an exploration team before. I just hope no one will run into Sableye. I've never encountered those, but they sound pretty nasty. Day 21. The elders decided to send another party. I really wanted to go, but they wouldn't let me. I really hope everyone's okay. The strange thing is Wigglytuff looked deep in thought when he heard about it. When I asked Chatot what Wigglytuff was thinking about, he looked at me, thought for a moment, and said, "He's trying to think of a substitute for perfect apples." I went over to Wigglytuff and offered him the one he gave me, but she said, "It looks appetizing, but it's yours, friendly friend." Wigglytuff is weird. Day 22. Wigglytuff wanted to talk to me about something, but Chatot keeps getting in the way. I think Chatot doesn't want me to know what Wigglytuff is trying to tell me. I only read a little bit of the journal today. Day 24. Chatot took Bidoof's journal. He has to be keeping a secret or something. Well, when I woke up this morning, it was gone. I asked everyone about it. They all said I must have misplaced it, and started getting after me for it. I know I didn't, because I saw Corfish hand a blue book to Chatot after dinner. The only blue book I know of is Bidoof's journal. Wigglytuff felt really upset about it when I told her. She told me to make sure I don't eat dinner tomorrow. I'm glad everyone's on my side, but why can't I eat dinner tomorrow? Again, I think Wigglytuff's kind of weird. Day 25. I'm leaving. That's right. By the time you guys read this, you'll notice Wigglytuff and I are gone. Thanks for everything, but we have a mission. Also, Corfish, you really gotta be more secretive when handing Chatot stuff. Sincerely, Treeko. Chapter 5. Wigglytuff's Plan. Treeko had just finished his journal for the night. He looked around the room. The only home he had ever had was there. The walls were covered in old drawings of how he thought the world once looked. He drew them all. There was the one with the sandy beach that Bidoof had helped him make as accurate as he could. The one of a town he wished he could see, which Bidoof said was called Treasure Town. And the one of a hill with the sun on the horizon. That was his favorite scene. His only problem was he had never seen an actual sunrise before. He always lived in... He was born into a world of darkness. He picked off the hill picture. He never drew the part where the sun met the sky because he was going to get help from Bidoof. Bidoof was really nice. He was starting to get worried about Bidoof. He sighed. Now it seemed that he would never get help for drawing that. The rest of the room was not as impressive. His bed was a bunch of old straw, like all Pokemon, and the walls were made of wood and cobblestone, again, like everyone. The window and doorway had a yellow painted wood frame. On his bed was his treasure bag that Wigglytuff had given him. He picked it up. The bag was a light brown, with a color-faded flap that suggested that it was once red. Inside, there was old exploration gear that each new team would receive. He opened the bag. There were 3 items inside. He took out the first. It was a dusty old pin. A circular one with the top half white and the bottom half pink. It had 2 wing-like sides to it and had a small silver button in the middle. The second item was a map. A very faded map. Wigglytuff said that this light brown map was a special one because it was a wonder map. Treeko looked at the least faded part. Tranquil Village. Treeko said, curious. Hey, that's where I live. Interesting. He pulled out the last item. It was a blue orb of some kind. Looked pretty old. He held it up to the moonlight that was shining through the window. That's a luminous orb. Treeko spun around. There, standing in the doorway, was Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff? Treeko asked, curious as to why she was there. Yep, I'm here. Pack up. She suddenly looked very serious. We're going to go save Bidoof. Treeko was amazed. First, he was excited. Then, he realized something. Why were they leaving at night? And why couldn't he have dinner? He asked Wigglytuff why. Well, let's just say that the world needs hope, and I thought we should... She sighed. I put sleep seeds in the dinner. What? Why? Because they don't have the hope. None of them were willing to go. None of them wanted to go help. I just thought you and me, maybe the teams are the only ones with hope left. Oh, said Treeko, fully understanding why she did what she did. Why do we... Wait. Wigglytuff was silent. Treeko was beginning to question if Wigglytuff was feeling all right, when suddenly a dark figure burst into the room. Watch out! Wigglytuff exclaimed. Sorry guys, that's the end of chapter 5, and everything before it, but hopefully you guys like this, and maybe I can write some more. Yeah, thanks. Bye.